And now, it's time for me to call on stage the son of legendary musician Shankar Mahadevan, having bagged the Best Male Playback Singer Award and the R.D. Burman Award for Zinda from Bhag Milka Bhag. Siddharth has been following his father's footsteps. It's going to be a treat to watch him nurture and mentor kids. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Siddharth Mahadevan. Hi, Siddharth. And now the man who effortlessly wears many hats at one time. He's a musician, a composer, and a vocalist who can sing in both male and female voices. He can play 33 different musical instruments and counting. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the talented personality on stage, Raghav Sachar. And last but not the least, we have in-house a comedian, an actor, a VJ, a writer. No matter which hat he has donned, he's made scores of people laugh all the time. He's one of the country's finest comedians who never fails to tickle a funny bone. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only Mr. Cyrus Saukar. All right, so Cyrus, let's begin with you. I'd like for you to tell us all, how excited are you to be part of HDFC Life Youngstars, and what's your plan?
Thank you. I have two microphones now. I'm excited about the fact that personally I started when I was very young. It was a different story. My parents forced me to work, but that's not important. I started young. I started at about 13 or 14. Interestingly, actually, the first gig I did was with Raghav. We were in school. There was a gentleman called Stephen Marazi, and we were participating in all these school singing contests and whatnot. Raghav could play 200,000 instruments.
The height difference was still approximately the same.
Yeah, Raghav was there then and I was here, but it's still. And I started singing and performing, and what it did for me was it was a very wonderful experience because it was not competitive, but it helped me understand that I can enjoy just performance. I wasn't the best singer or the most amazing performer, but it opened up a whole new gamut of interesting things for me. So yeah, I'm excited to just meet amazingly interesting kids and help them become the best version of themselves. And now I'd like to narrate my day in slow motion so nobody else gets a chance to talk. I woke up, I had a tone, Raghav, please.
Thank you so much, Cyrus. Raghav, you are an inspiration to all the kids who are going to be part of this. You play 33 different instruments and probably many more we don't know about. So can you tell me, what's your plan? How do you plan to mentor the youngsters?
Well, just the whole idea of playing multiple instruments it's not something that comes with a lot of hard work. It's essentially an inborn talent that I think if somebody has an inborn talent, then that with the correct amount of education in the right field can be really, expanded. But I'm essentially looking for, because the age group that we are going to be targeting which is so interesting, because that's the time when you get to know that yes, a child has the capability of playing an X instrument or singing or anything for that matter. And it's going to be a very interesting discovery for me to see if the extra bit that we are looking for, which will make the person stand out, make the child stand out over a period of time, is there in the child or not. So I'm essentially looking for that.
Great, that sounds fantastic. Sounds like a plan. If you can talk to us, I think the kids will really relate to you, because I'm not sure if this is the right place to say this, but you're probably the youngest of us all right now.
Yes, I am.
Not the right place.
Not the right place to say that.
I think you're good.
No, but I think, being a singer and a composer, composing for a lot of films, you always look out for uniqueness in a voice, and it happens at a very young age because, I've grown up listening to music, being in a musical family with so many musicians around me, and I think just being around people who absorb so much music helps you to learn so much. And these kids with HDFC Life, Youngstars, I think this platform that Fame and HDFC Life Insurance has given them is phenomenal, because they don't need to travel. It's digital, first of all, which is outstanding, and they can just take a video, upload it, and reach out to some of the best people in the industry who can guide them. And I'm also starting in my career, but it'll be an amazing opportunity for me to spend some quality time with these kids, help them with some of the things that I have learned from my father, from so many musicians that I have come across in my musical journey, and try to teach some of that to them. And it's going to be a great experience spending time with these extremely talented kids, I think.
Absolutely. Lauren, you come from a different part of the world, and today you're more of an Indian than anybody else. You're a world citizen, and I think the Youngstars have so much to learn from you in terms of building a career by doing what you love doing, which is to dance. So can you tell me, how excited are you to be part of HDFC Youngstars, and how do you plan to go about it?
Well, this is really interesting to me because my very first audition that I ever did was a video submission. And I grew up in Arizona in the United States, and I submitted a video to Los Angeles, and that's where I got my agent. So I was very young, and I was traveling from Arizona to Los Angeles, and trying to break it out into Hollywood. But you got to start somewhere, and when you're young is the best time. And I think I'm still most connected to that inner child in myself, because I trained since I was 7 years old. I just had this feeling like one day I'm going to be there in the public eye, and I have this responsibility to train as hard as I can. And everyone knows that dance is my life, dance is my blood. So I trained in every different style: jazz, tap, ballet, hip-hop, lyrical, modern, contemporary. I started doing the ballroom styles. I just wanted everything. So they were saying that that hunger that kids have is what is so amazing to see, and to be able to work with that, just the way that my teachers work with me. I was a very focused student, and I had all the best choreographers in the business, that have, trained Britney Spears and J-Lo, and all the big, choreographers were once my mentors. So this is a place that I love. I love kids. I love to mentor. And I went on and mentored or trained Tom Cruise and Tobey Maguire and Katie Holmes for a bit. So it's definitely something I love, but something that India is actually something I've never done here before. I've been focusing on other things. So this is the first time. So with HDFC Life, Youngstars, and Fame, I get to explore that side of me and give back to the kids and mentor the next round of people to come up.
Sounds like a plan, Lauren.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to us. I think that's the perfect start to this beautiful afternoon. I'm now going to invite on stage Mr. Sanjay, Mr. Shreyas, and Ms. Pooja to please join us here. And I think it's time for me to throw the floor open for questions now.
That's too many questions at one point. Please, it's overwhelming.
Oh, you comedic
It's
genius,
not-
you.
I just feel it's just one at a time, please. It's too much. Thank you. That's a great question too. Yes. No, I didn't personally train Tom Cruise. Or I was teaching Ajay, a friend of mine, but that didn't work out for me. What do you do? There is no. Can we ask ourselves questions? Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
Just
Can we just go?
shoe size 13, sir.
So I've got the question with all four of you, Cyrus and this Raghav and Siddharth and Lauren. When was that time in your childhood when you all just got to know that you all are gifted with the extra talent? You have been extra talent gifted by the God, like.
Ooh, can I go?
Yeah, Lauren?
I don't know about gifted with extra talent. I wouldn't ever say that about myself. If you broke down the technicalities of being a dancer, and can I use your shoulder to demonstrate? Ballerinas? Ballerinas, they have to have their feet completely turned out and stuff. I can't do some of these things. I have no turnout. I'm here. So when people say, Lauren, you're so flexible, I'm like, I am not flexible. I can get my leg up here if I want, because I have power and I have heart. And that, I think, was my strength, and that was my talent that I found after my very first performance, actually. I just realized that this is what I was going to do the rest of my life. So I was actually 8 years old, but it was more heart than it was like, oh, I'm gifted.
Yeah, good afternoon to all of you here, right here. This is Vijay Shankar.
I was just speaking for myself, not for everyone.
I'm sorry, I thought it was over.
I think for me, it was at a very, very young age. I think at that age, you don't realize it yourself. It's for someone elder to you and someone musical to tell you that, you know, you have something in you. And for me, it was my father. And I think I was 2.5 or 3 years old when one of the best drummers of our country, Mr. Ranjit Barot, and my dad used to work a lot. And he used to come over and he used to recite these rhythmic patterns to me. And I used to exactly recite them exactly back in time, however complicated they were. And my dad always, you know, told me that, you know, you have a sense of rhythm, a sense of musicality in you. And I think when I was 3 years old, I first time recorded for my dad's album, Breathless. And the song started with my voice reciting a rhythmic pattern. And I think since then, there was no looking back for me in music, whether it was training in vocals or, you know, composing or learning an instrument. I think that was just the beginning at a very young age. And I think it's very, very important that you start young, because then your growth has a lot of time and you get to learn so much more at that age. I think you absorb a lot at that age.
Well, it's very interesting because he has gone through exactly something similar to what I went through. I was 4 years old, and I was put to bed, I was sleeping, and I heard a piece of harmonica, Hai Apna Dil To Avara. My dad was playing to my mother, and I crawled out of bed, and I asked him for the harmonica. I was 4 years old at that time, and I played it back to him. Now, harmonica is an instrument which you cannot teach. It's impossible to teach the instrument because the entire thing is in your mouth. Like a keyboard, you can say, okay, play this. A guitar, you can say, okay, play that. Saxophone, various instruments. And harmonica is something that you have to know rhythm and pitch to be able to play that instrument. That's why it's encouraged that youngsters who have some musical knowledge should probably start off with that, because you gauge very quickly whether it's possible, you're understanding pitch or not. At that time, there used to be Chitrahar. So I used to hear a song, play it back, hear a song, play it back, hear a song, play it back, just randomly without knowing. So then I suddenly became the kid who parents used to push ahead parties mein, I'm sure.
I think we all got that.
Yeah, that beta
They used to push me behind.
Beta kuch bajao.
And that was the time we used to run away and hide somewhere in the...
I was so happy doing that because, I mean, I have seen some ridiculously exploited photographs of mine by my parents at various events which I don't even have recollection of, and parties of some random people, somebody's birthday, somebody's something, and I'm just going nuts playing the drums, playing the harmonica, playing various different instruments. So I had a deal with him that he would gift me an instrument every birthday, and that's how the multi-instrumental thing happened. But the whole idea that I could play back instantaneously was something that I thought is something that I have, which is very unique, and I should not leave this to rest. I should continue with it. And I'm sure Cyrus has something similar that happened to him.
Yeah, for me, I think the difference that I had is that I think you guys were at a very young age, you guys almost knew what you really wanted to do. For me, I was a kid that was, so I started in music and acting, and I was a mixed up kid. I wasn't like, you know, like some people are born and they know they just want to play an instrument or they want to sing. For me, I just wanted to be out there, and it was a cathartic experience for me being out there and performing. And my first 7 performances were standing ovations, but they were only parents watching their kids. So that was like, I realized much later, not really a great understanding of audience reaction, because after that it was lots of fruits and vegetables. But the most important thing is it emotionally opened me up, and I was petrified of the world, and then I started realizing that the audience members are nice people and they want to like you. And so emotionally it helped me understand life a lot better, and that part of the performance aspect is what I think really helped me. And at this age group that we are dealing with, it's not even about, for me at least, it's more about becoming more of who you are, or opening up, or just doing it for the love of it. I'm really not even worried about like if they're bad at it or good at it, because that's for all of us, right? We all have our good and bad days. But just becoming a better version or more interesting version of who you are, you're gonna cry. And if you give me 50 rupees, I'll make it emotional. No, but I think that's what it is. It's really, for me, it was that. And then it just went on and on and on. And then I saw Raghav play, and I stopped singing. I was just like, that's not going to work out.
Yeah, good afternoon. Vijay Shankar here. Yeah, Cyrus, your most memorable experience in your childhood days?
In terms of performance or?
Whatever, the floor is open to you.
Well, I think the first the first time I'd really enjoyed something and doing something was in a school play. It involved me. I was the villain, and we were performing for the inmates in Tihar jail. And I was so excited by just being the villain that I walked right through a wall, which is supposed to be a divider between two worlds, walked through the set and performed in a completely different corner of the play. And somehow it just worked for me. It was a memorable experience because it's the first time I understood that I also want to, and I'm just connecting it to this because I also realized that there's some fun in celebrating your mistakes and comfort of being in your home or in your room and still doing stuff which you never know how it works. It was my most memorable moment for me on a personal level because I realized, okay, I'm just gonna make, so as you said, it starts from the comfort of your bedroom and then stage becomes as comfortable as your room. And it opens up and everybody's part of the act. So the inmates were also laughing, the director gave up hope on, he ended a career only and locked himself up in jail. But otherwise I had so much fun doing that. It was a memorable moment for me.
Thank you.
So Lauren, as you told that you are from USA and you have been known to most of the Hollywood actors and actresses, but what is that thing what made you just come up to Bollywood? What's the reason why you just choose to work in Bollywood instead of Hollywood, which is one of the biggest industry in the world? Like,
it's interesting actually because I had my whole career. I had my life, I had my family, my friends, my dog. I had everything, and I got an opportunity one day, and it was actually ironic timing because I was in the running for Step Up 4, I think it was, for the lead. And it was between just a couple of us. And it was the night that I found out, actually, that one of my best friends got the leading role. And I was devastated. Like, I just always saw myself in that dance film, acting, dancing, and I just thought it was the time, it was the film. And I saw my dream kind of slip away. So I wanted to congratulate my friend and, you know, tell her she's a rock star, and I couldn't. I could only think about why didn't it happen for me. And like 4 hours later, I was able to completely shift my energy and not care about myself and my life and just care about her. And that was right when I got an email from UTV Motion Pictures, some 4 in the morning, so random. And it was just like right when I made that shift inside my heart and stuff and didn't care about myself, I got the opportunity of a lifetime. And I knew it was supposed to be because it happened right then and there. So UTV Motion Pictures, I was like, what is this? And I saw names like Prabhu Deva and Remo D'Souza, and being from the US, I just had no idea. Looked it up online, I was like, this is a real thing. Came here, had no idea what to expect. I stepped foot on set the very first day, and I looked up and I was like, oh my God, this is a real movie. Like, I had no idea. But I realized right then and there that in Hollywood, you can't act and dance. You kind of are a dancer or you're an actor. In Bollywood, you can't act without dancing. So it was just very interesting. I was like, okay, this is definitely my fate. And I've never looked back. Like, I just never stopped. I'm like, I'm supposed to be here, and I love it. But yeah, I don't know. That's my life story, I guess.
Hi, this is a question for all the mentors. So obviously you all will come across very, very talented kids, and you all will mentor them in this process, in this property. Sounds very interesting. But in addition to mentoring them, would you also promote these kids in any ways?
I think definitely, you know, leave aside this platform. Any good talent is always welcome. And I think anybody, not just us, I think anyone from the industry, when they see some extreme talent and someone who's doing extremely well, they're more than happy to promote it. Obviously, Fame has things planned up for them and us to do together. We're going to be doing a video together, which both of us will be featuring in it. And that'll be put out digitally. And I'm sure Fame is also going to promote them in a very, very big way once they win it. So it's going to be a great platform for these kids and great exposure, I think, for all of them.
Super.
See, in my head, you never know where life is going to take you. You never know where that audition is going to take you. I went to So You Think You Can Dance's audition on such a whim. I just found out about it the night before. And like I think you were saying, it could be such a scary thing to go into these auditions. It was terrifying. Like I went in and there was thousands of people sitting there, and it was like nauseating how nerve-wracking it was. And that can actually hinder your performance or make a lot of people not perform to their best of their ability. But you never know where life is going to take you, where that audition is going to take you. You may not be the winner of something, but you may get the eyes of so many people. You may not be the winner of Chalak, but yet you still go on and have a career. Like,
I think some of the top people who are, products of talent shows all across India, I think have not been necessarily the winners of those talent shows.
True.
And you say, take Arijit Singh, or you take Shreya Ghoshal, or so many different great legends from our industry who have been products of these talent shows. And with this digital platform, I think we're going to be able to reach to way more number of people all around, because you completely cancel out the geographical difficulties, the travel time, and everything is completely nullified. And from your bedroom, you're reaching out to the people who can make you big. So I think that's a great thing that they're starting.
Sure.
Yeah, I think as Lauren said, to not be judged. It's so, on a day-to-day level, everybody hates that. So with that comfort and with the lack of that, I was 18 when I joined MTV, and it was through a hunt, when I was 17 years old. There were hundreds of people. You're intimidated. You worry about small stuff like your clothes, we're looking weird. This is really nice because it's still, and even if nothing comes of it but this tape, it's still really good to just do it. They're kids. It's so much more about just celebrating themselves than winning constantly. That they'll have their whole life to sort of do.
Thanks.
Well, just to wrap this up, this particular question, this is a very interesting situation that I was in. I had an interview with AIR FM some time ago. This was about six years ago, I think. And I remember this very vividly because the gentleman who was taking the interview said that I am an MBA, and I have done my entire education in various different field. And finally, he said that now I have finally stood up to my parents and said that I want to do what I want to do, and he wanted to be an RJ. So now, after doing all this time that he has actually spent doing what his parents wanted to do, wanted him to do, he has finally left everything and is working as an RJ. So, times have changed from when I wanted to be a musician. And when I had gone to study in Australia, my relatives, so to say, and they are the biggest troublemakers, came and said that, okay, Raghav कहाँ है? पढ़ाई करने गए? हाँ, पढ़ाई करने गए. कहाँ पढ़ाई करने? ऑस्ट्रेलिया पढ़ाई करने गए. अच्छा, क्या पढ़ रहे हैं? म्यूजिक. हाँ, पढ़ क्या रहे हैं? That was the question every time. वो पढ़ ही म्यूजिक रहे हैं was a unheard of thing. But see, over here now, anybody who has a phone, a laptop, a tablet, and everybody does now these days, the person probably can just fight with his parents and run away in his room, can just upload his thing and be happy that at least he's being able to reach where he wanted to reach and is getting the right kind of reactions, whether discouragement or encouragement or whatever, at least he's able to express. So that is the most important thing that's happened over the years. The people are right at your palm, which is something which is phenomenal. And I think this kind of a platform like Fame, like the Youngstars, the HDFC Life Youngstars, this is going to be something which is most appreciated by people who do not have the capability of traveling, who do not have the funds to actually get to from point A to point B, then have hotel accommodations, then stay there, then then have queues, then have parents who are that supportive. They can just do whatever they feel like from their palm.
Also, to add to what Raghav said, I think the kids who are going to be participating, I think the time in which they are right now, including my time, I would say, is great because music is now seriously being taken up as a profession. TV, dance, let it be anything related to entertainment. Now, there is a professional angle to it. People are taking it as a serious profession. Like how he said, I'm sure, 15 years back, 20 years back, people would say, music kar raha, but kaam kya karoge?
He's not that old, huh? 20. We'll stick to 10.
Okay, 10 years back. But yeah, people wouldn't take music as a serious profession, and I think everyone's seeing the opportunity. I think the opportunity that everyone has right now in our industry is huge. People are open to new talent. People are open to giving new people a chance. The exposure levels are huge. I think so. It's a great time for this, talent competition to happen.
And actually, can I add one thing? I think one of my very favorite things that we're doing with HDFC Life Youngstars is the collaboration with the mentor, with the student, and with the parent. That to me is really, really special because I haven't seen that on any other platform. And I go back into my childhood and I would not be here today. I'm sure we would all say this without our parents. And when I said that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, like I needed that backing. I needed that help, that support, the emotional support, the financial support to help me get to the level that I've gotten to today. And my parents, and I think a lot of the parents out there, when you have a child that loves something so deeply and is so passionate and is very talented at something, they want to do everything they can to see that through and take them along. So my mom would drive an hour and a half every day to take me to dance class, and it was too far to go all the way back home and then come pick me up and then go back. So she spent half of her life, thank you Mom if you ever watch this, she spent half of her life in a dance studio watching me for 4 or 5 hours every day and would travel all around the country and now the world and stuff. So that collaboration is amazing, and I think when people start seeing this, that's going to resonate a lot with everyone out there. And it being a digital platform is just what is today, like what is 2016? I mean, all day we're on our phones. It's where you see all your content nowadays. So that collaboration is just going to be something totally special and new, I think.
Yeah.
I think each participant is going to be very different. So जब हम उनको सुनेंगे, so it's going to be very individual to what we hear from them. And also, just one thing that my dad has always told me is to stay original. Don't try to mimic anyone who's already a star, because he's there because he's there. No one's going to look at you. So you try to develop your own identity. Try to be as original as possible. And that's what is going to take you to the heights that you always dreamed of. So I think that's one thing that I would like to tell everybody who's going to be participating, is to try and have your own original identity as to how you sing, or your vocal tone, or your whatever, whether it's dance or whatever. I'm sure it's the same with everything. Don't try and mimic anyone. Try to be your own identity and try to create that identity.
Yeah.
For me, it would मेरे लिए बहुत important है कि एक level of, एक जैसे आपने कहा originality, and also don't try to please, don't worry about the outcome and how it will be perceived, क्योंकि उसमें बड़ा problem हो जाता है. And especially it's a little trickier in the humor genre, क्योंकि what I find funny, you may not find funny, someone else, it's minute by minute, it's subjective. So I think one is just, even if it's about you talking to a hand puppet, you talking about your parents, anything. And also a lot of, आजकल बहुत लोगों का problem हो गया है कि comedy is stuck with stand-up. कि अगर आप कुछ 4-5 jokes बोल देंगे, that's what stand-up has also been misunderstood as. This is a performing arts genre, at least for me specifically. So anything you find funny, humorous, entertaining, and even if it's your personal journey, that's what's important. तो आप outcome के बारे में ज़्यादा फिक्र ना करें, अपनी originality और कि आपसे आ रहा है और आपकी कहानी है और आपकी observation है, उस पे ज़्यादा focus करें. Then the other stuff is our problem, not really yours.
Well, मेरे लिए essentially, if I'm only looking at instruments or singing, एक इतनी frustrating चीज़ है कि आपको अगर कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट बार बार कोई एक गाना बजाना है तो वो बजाने के लिए और वो वहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए कि आप अच्छी तरीके से उसको बजा पाएँ, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of repeated practice. It takes like hours and hours of scales and hours of a lot of रियाज. और आजकल सिचुएशन क्या हो गया है कि बच्चों को या सबको ऐसा लगता है कि अब मैंने ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट खरीद लिया है, अब मुझे वो बजाना आना चाहिए, क्योंकि मैंने इतना इन्वेस्ट कर दिया तो इतना एटलीस्ट इतना तो होना चाहिए कि मैं बजा सकूं. So it doesn't work like that. And what happens typically is कि आप अगर आप एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट लेते हैं, just to be able to play a song, it might take you about 6 months, 7 months of just scales and practices and various amount of frustrating work, which is where the focus goes away. ज़्यादातर बच्चों का फोकस जब बहुत आपको रियाज करना पड़ता है, कुछ बहुत प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ता है, तब फोकस चला जाता है. सो दैट्स द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज इफ़ यू वांट टू डू दिस देन यू हैव टू नो दैट देयर इज़ अ बैगेज दैट कम्स विद इट, एंड आपको उतना एफर्ट डालना ही पड़ेगा. बैठे बैठे कुछ नहीं होने वाला. And that is something that they need to be told by the mentors and by the parents, and by whoever is a well-wisher of the child who wants to succeed in playing an X, Y, Z instrument or singing. It's relevant to probably everything, So that's something that needs to come across kind of strongly.
I think my biggest tip to say to everyone who's going to audition for this is use this audition to your advantage. It doesn't come too often where you get to send in a video submission. I'm thinking back to when I was auditioning for Michael Jackson, and just that pressure of having your idol walk out there and watch you dance is something else. But here you get the opportunity to make your own video. You can look at it, see if this is what you want to present, to the world, and maybe you want to do something different. Maybe like, okay, that take wasn't good. It's okay, do it again. I don't think that comes.
You can give your best.
Yeah, you can give your absolute best. So do it, try over and over again until you're happy with it, and then it's all up to fate.
I'm very distraught about that. The word genius and funniest are the two most harrowing things I've ever heard in my life to introduce anyone.
There was just an inside joke, a little backstage joke. But I think we would all say that there's always more that you can learn. I would never say I'm the best dancer because I still have so much more to learn. But the Indian classical styles are incredible, and it has much more culture and much more soul in the dancing, I find, than anything else that I've ever done in the West. And I actually, I was a huge fan, a huge lover of contemporary and hip hop, and it's not my favorite styles anymore. I just don't find what I found in the Indian styles, like that soul. So I go home and I watch that and I'm like, I've seen better. So.
Thank you. I asked you because I'm a classical Kuchipudi dancer. That's just for your information. Thank you so much.
You'll have to bust out a move back there. I knew it would be you that would ask.
Hey, गुलाबी आंखें जो तेरी देखी, शराबी ये दिल हो गया, संभालो मुझको ओ मेरे यारो, संभलना मुश्किल हो गया.
Thank you.
All right, I think then that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much for being here this afternoon. And this is going to be the incredible journey of HDFC Life Youngstars. Thank you so much to all our mentors. Thank you, Shreya, Sanjay, and Pooja for joining us. I'm now going to request all the photographers to please come ahead for a photo op. Also, regarding all the one-on-one interviews, I request...
ऑनलाइन जज करेगी ऑनलाइन सर ये और भी काफ़ी रियलिटी शो चल रहे हैं ऑलरेडी तो उनके भी जज कर चुके हैं उसमें इसमें डिफरेंट क्या है
You want to start?
Yeah, I think सबसे बड़ी एडवांटेज जो एक डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म दे रहा है, स्पेशली HDFC लाइव यंगस्टार्स जो लाया है, आई थिंक जो जोग्राफिकल डिफ़िकल्टीज़ होती है एक रियल एक जोग्राफिकल जो डिफ़िकल्टीज़ होती है एक रियलिटी शो करने में, वेदर इट इज़ ट्रैवल, वेदर इट इज़ यू नो द अकोमोडेशन, द स्टे, कभी कभी फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट नहीं होता, एंड आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स जो एक डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म होता है वो कम्प्लीटली उसको नलिफाई कर देता है। अनदर थिंग जो है, एक चाइल्ड को अब जब भी देखोगे वो अपने पेरेंट्स के सामने अपने घर पे सबसे ज़्यादा कंफर्टेबल होता है, एंड दैट किड कैन परफॉर्म द बेस्ट एट हिज होम इन फ्रंट ऑफ हिज पेरेंट्स। वो क्या होता है एट दैट एज, इवन आई यूज्ड टू गेट वेरी इंटिमिडेटेड। जब भी मुझे कोई बर्थडे पार्टी में भी गाने बोलते थे मैं भाग के छुप जाता था, दो आई वुड बी एबल टू सिंग इट, बट मैं डरता था, यू नो, आई यूज्ड टू गेट इंटिमिडेटेड परफॉर्मिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ पीपल। सो आई थिंक फॉर दैट एज स्पेशली, आई थिंक 6 to 14,
टोटली
आई थिंक इट्स द बेस्ट थिंग कि वो अपने आपके घर पे मॉम डैड शूट कर रहे हैं, जस्ट लाइक अनदर डे they can perform and they can give their best shot, and if they are not happy they can reshoot it, and जब तक उन्हें नहीं लगता है वो perfect है, and the parents also play a very important role in this, they can do that and upload their videos and they can reach out to us. Even for us I think it's a very very big advantage.
Yeah, I think it's dual, exactly जैसे आप कह रहे हैं। एक तो ये है कि that whole tiring process of auditioning, standing in line, reaching a city, registration, गर्मी, आप और हर इंसान कोई भी हो, एवरीबॉडी हेट्स बीइंग जज्ड। तो ये आपके घर पे कंफर्ट में हो रहा है, इसलिए आप अपनी जो परफॉर्मेंस है वो आप पीक कर सकते हैं। आई थिंक और आपको बस एक वीडियो भेजना है, उस वीडियो को अच्छी तरह बनाएं और अपनी इंडिविजुअलिटी को सेलिब्रेट करें। एंड ऑफ कोर्स एज यू सेड, अपार्ट फ्रॉम द, हम भी इतना कुछ सीखने वाले हैं उनको देख के और उनके परफॉर्मेंसेस को देख के। एंड योर वर्किंग विद योर फेवरेट एंड फर्स्ट मेंटोर, जो सबके होते हैं वो उनके आइडली मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम पेरेंट्स ही होते हैं। सो आप घर की कंफर्ट में वर्किंग विद योर पेरेंट्स एंड क्रिएटिंग समथिंग जो आपकी एक सेलिब्रेशन है, दैट्स द बेस्ट थिंग अबाउट दिस शो।
And even for us, I think wherever we are, we can just look at the audition videos from any place in the world, you know, where if Cyrus is traveling to some place or if I'm in another city or another country even, I think जो audition videos है, the process does not stop. I think it can go on and
और यार एक्चुअली इतने पेरेंट्स के लिए और इतने लोगों के लिए भी जियोग्राफिकली एक्सपेंसिव होता है।
बहुत कन्वीनियंट
होता है। बाहर से आइए, आप यहाँ पे रहिए, पुट योरसेल्फ अप, जब इट्स एक्सपेंसिव, दिस इज कॉस्टिंग यू नथिंग, बट इट्स स्टिल अ वंडरफुल वे ऑफ going and auditioning.
And I'm sure there are going to be people who have that talent in them, and it's just that entire process that kind of demotivates them.
Or you get delayed, or you miss a flight.
It's like, चल try तो करते हैं ना, क्या एक वीडियो तो बनाना।
बिल्कुल।
I think that is what is going to actually encourage a lot of people from the interior parts of India, from parts where you know sometimes parents don't allow you to go. क्या करना है, इतना क्या कर लेगा, म्यूजिक करके क्या कर लेगा, दो टाइम्स।
बिल्कुल यार, बिल्कुल। और फिर कभी कोई बिजी भी होता है, कभी मुश्किल होती हैं। एंड ऑल्सो एक और बात जो इम्पोर्टेंट है इस शो के लिए कि आप अपने बड़े प्यार से और आराम से इस वीडियो को बनाएं, और अपना जो मज़ेदार टैलेंट है, अपनी जो परफॉर्मेंस है, हाँ तड़का, वो अपना होना चाहिए। सर जॉनर्स अलग अलग हैं। तो कॉमेडी है, जिसका ये मतलब नहीं कि आपको खाली स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी करनी है, आप गैग्स कर सकते हैं, स्केचेस कर सकते हैं, अपनी ऑब्जर्वेशंस ऑन लाइफ कर सकते हैं, अपने माँ बाप के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं। कभी कभी आपको बात करने की जरूरत भी नहीं, आप माइम भी कर सकते हैं। ही इज़ डूइंग primarily sound and voice and singing, so that's specific. Lauren is doing choreography and dance. Raghav is doing instrumental music. तो बिल्कुल स्पेसिफिक है, और जहाँ पे जिस क्षेत्र में आपकी इंटरेस्ट है, आई थिंक उसको पे आप स्पेसिफिकली पढ़ाइए।
एज क्या होगा बच्चों जो पार्टिसिपेंट करेंगे और उनका विनर वो कैसे डिसाइड करेंगे कि हाँ कौन जीत रहा है, कौन कैसे।
सो एक लंबा प्रोसेस होने वाला है। हम लोग along with the FAME team will be narrowing it down to about 100 people, and then the 100 people will be personally going through each video, mentoring them, giving them tips for the next audition round and stuff like that, and then we'll finally pick out a winner. हर एक category में एक winner होगा, and उसके साथ FAME is doing a lot of things to promote the kid also. We are going to do a video feature with the child, whoever wins in our category. We might sing a song together, they might do an act together,
exactly,
we might do a dance together. Raghav might do something with the, do an instrumental song or whatever. तो बहुत सारे opportunities मिलने वाले हैं इन kids को, and that age is a very tender age.
It is a tender age यार, तो बहुत gently करना पड़ेगा। और हम दोनों backstage में बात कर रहे थे कि हमारे बारे में नहीं है ये, और being the best is also not as important as एक प्रोसेस जहाँ पे आप अपने बारे में कुछ पता करें। हो सकता है कुछ बच्चे हों जिन्हें पता भी नहीं है कि वो इतना अच्छा गा सकते हैं या कुछ कर सकते हैं। It's a very young age, तो it's about them. not about only
And just
winning.
having fun
And
more
having
than
fun, yeah. It's not a you have to win kind of show. It's about आप मजे लीजिए और अपने आप को celebrate करिए.
ह्यूज प्लेटफॉर्म और
It's a very
क्या
big
पता वो
platform.
उनका जो वीडियो है वो वायरल चला जाए. You know, you never know. आजकल इंटरनेट, दिस मीडियम इज जस्ट
अगर आप देखें भी in the last say 7-8 years जो सबसे बड़े stars दुनिया में आए हैं, they are all YouTube. They are all
Right, from a Justin
from
Bieber to
absolute.
anybody,
It's
you know?
it's never ending.
Yeah.
Whether it's in comedy, whether it's this. So Justin Bieber obviously will be music. And Russell Peters जो 20 साल से काम कर रहे थे, his videos went up on the internet 20 years after his career began or more, and so amazing things can happen, and all at the cost of just making a video.
Okay, Cyrus, apart from this, what's happening on professional front? No.
Brother, I just, I don't know if this is the right podium to talk about, but I just finished a show for Comedy Central, and I'm right now shooting for Hotstar, where we are doing, they have the rights to the IPL, so hosting that, and on a 25-city tour.
Okay, you know, रंगदे के बाद या उसके बाद भी आपने फिल्में की, उसका हिस्सा रहे हैं.
हाँ.
You know, क्यों और ज़्यादा क्यों नहीं?
I haven't had the, sir, honestly, दो very specific reasons है. One, I have not chased cinema. I have been very busy with my own work and my events, and एक तो कॉमेडी बिजनेस में एक और चीज़ है कि आप साल में 100 दिन 120 दिन ट्रैवल करते हैं शोज़ के लिए, जो म्यूजिक में भी है एक्चुअली, विच आर लाइव इवेंट्स. तो इस सब के बीच में इट्स नॉट बीन लाइक, सो जो भी मैंने फिल्में करी हैं, आई वाज ऑफर्ड दोस फिल्म्स, आई ऑडिशन फॉर देम एंड आई गॉट देम, बट आई हैवंट हैड द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू रियली चेस एक्टिंग. आई हैव प्राइमरीली बीन डूइंग अ लॉट ऑफ अदर वर्क, एंड द डे आई ट्राई टू डू दैट इट विल बी ग्रेट. तो मैंने अपने अपने टाइम पे किए हैं.
मतलब चीज़ों के पीछे भागे नहीं, अगर सामने से कुछ आ गया तो you know.
बिकॉज सर मेरा ये प्रोफेशन था, मैं टीवी होस्टिंग और वो करा था, तो आई थिंक
You enjoy most the work which you do.
I enjoy them all. I just want to do interesting work, whether it's on radio or theatre, which I just did a play with Rajat Kapoor, which I really enjoyed doing. And then the work is more important than the mediums, or for me, it's just finding new things to do. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, let's do it.
You should teach me dance.
Teach me one of the 30 instruments, you know.
It's really good to see you both.
Thank
you.
you.
Something innovative, you know, digital platform for the kids' talent. Tell us.
Actually, have you ever seen that?
What?
Like a talent hunt through video submissions like this
I
on
haven't seen
digital?
it.
I've never seen it actually.
I'm excited about it actually.
Yeah.
It should turn out to be a good interaction with the children for whatever it is. I mean, we are not interacting with them initially, but just to know how much talent there is and just to see them perform is going to be very interesting. I mean, you'll get to know the generation that's coming up now, how exactly they are receiving music or dance and how they're perceiving it.
Yeah, and actually something that we touched on over there, it's crazy because usually you have auditions where you're in front of some judges that you really idolize, or you know, in front of hundreds of people, and it's a very scary thing. You know, this is something that you get to do in your time, make the best video of yourself. You know, take your time doing that, and I think everyone at that age of being like, you know, 6 to 14, they're looking for that mentorship. They're looking to grow in whether it's instruments or dance or comedy. They want to grow like that, and this is a great opportunity, I think, for everyone out there.
Laura, you become already a judge for reality show. It's the second one. You know, judging for kids. Is it difficult to you?
So what?
What difficult to you to judging the kids? You know, you're on the other side.
Yeah, no, I actually enjoyed this part more because growing up in a dance studio, and I had all those choreographers that took me under their wings, and you know, something I don't think a lot of people know is that I spent half my life as a assistant choreographer. Like I would, you know, travel around, and if it was like for Britney Spears or for Mariah Carey, like I was an assistant to them. So I know that mentorship thing because I was the student that was being mentored. So this is something I'm really excited about, and very different from like a jhalak where you're judging and giving critiques off of this. This is actually getting in with kids and actually molding them, and when you see the look in kids' eyes when they're like looking at you and they're hungry and they want to learn, and you say do this better, do this different and stuff, and they're like, okay, chala, let's go. And I love that about kids.
Okay, Raghav, what are three qualities you would look into a, you know, a contestant, a kid's contestant as a singer?
See, as a singer, essentially, the most important thing is that the child is not pitchy, not singing off pitch, if like completely haywire. Of course, being in rhythm, they are the two most important things. And then the third thing, that is how much character of his own does that person or the child put in. What is the effort that he's gone to make sure that the track sounds in his fashion. Like for example, a simple song which is heard multiple times, but the rendition of that song can be made in a very different fashion. So considering the liberty that the child has of doing multiple takes of this, and given the platform, which is we guys are just essentially anywhere and just checking them out with any frame of mind. This is something which they should really take heavy advantage of, and I'm sure there will be. And till the time the child himself is not convinced that yes, this is my best performance and मैंने इससे अच्छा नहीं कर सकता हूँ, तब तक he doesn't need to upload, which is the best thing.
Okay, Lauren, what are the three qualities you look for?
What do I look for? I look for that it factor. I look for that spark in someone's eyes. It's so easy to do dance steps, like, you know, we all have those party dance steps here that everybody does, but
I still can't do them.
I'm sure you can. But you know, I look for that it factor in people, you know, and not being safe. You know, you can tell when a dancer is doing the steps, but they're being very safe. Like, I want you to take it to the next level and risk failing at something. Like, I think it's a very, you know, good quality to learn early on that it's okay to fail at something. Like, go for that really hard trick, go for that, you know, really tough note or whatever it is and stuff, and go for it. If you fail, that only helps you, you know, learn. So it's going to that peak, putting out that last extra little bit, and you can see that in someone's performances. You can see that through a video, actually.
No, everything is digital. You know, once you're done with everything, the processing and all, there'll be a finale happening where, you know, the judges sitting across the table judging each and every one.
Yes, there will be. There will be eventually. Once we guys are all, we have the shortlists and stuff, we will have a finale. Because at the end of the day, they have to face the judges, they have to face the lights, camera, everything, and that is most important because that's a part of grooming, that's a part of performance. This is the comfort, the initial comfort is what most interesting is because they don't need to be in front of us to do that. So initially, if you're able to, some people might perform very well in the living rooms, but have stage fright. So eventually they have to conquer that. So yes, we will be having that.
And the crazy thing about stage fright is I still have it. Like, I've been performing. I've been performing since I was 7-8 years old.
Yeah.
And before, I don't know about you, but before.
No, I have it. I have fever also. Usually.
Yeah, before I go on stage every single time. Like, if you see my performance, whether it's like some small time thing or whether it's a, you know, competition show that I've done or anything, I am so nervous. So those nerves are great. That is that adrenaline. I've always been taught and I've always felt that when those nerves go away, you're done. Like, the second you don't have those nerves anymore, your time has passed. You know, time to find something else because those nerves drive you. So, yeah, I forgot. I went off into a tangent. I forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about the finale.
Oh, the finale, yeah. So the finale, there will be this final presentation, and I think it's more so for the kids that have been mentored this whole time to get the opportunity to take all of their training, all of the knowledge that we give them, and apply it on the stage, and have the parents out there watch it. You know, I think that's my favorite part about this competition, or this talent hunt, is because when I was young, my parents were the driving force, and not a dance mom type of way, and very much a, you know, this is what you want to do, this is your life, okay, I'm going to give you everything I can. And thank God for that. I get chills when I think about everything my parents did for me. So I think that final showcase is going to be more like that. And hopefully, we were just talking about it, I mean, I want to perform at that. I want to, so hopefully we have some fun with our own little performances.
Okay, apart from this, what happening on the professional front, I'm talking about the big screen.
Big screen, you know, that's something that we'll chat about later, some other point in time.
Oh my God, the PR is giving a look. Anyways, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good to go? Done?